Imagine this. You're giving your all to someone, but something feels off. Her actions, her words, they don't align. Deep down, you sense a lack of value, a lack of respect. Today, we're diving into 7 key behaviors of a woman who doesn't value you, and what Stoicism can teach us about facing this challenge. Behavior 1. She dismisses your feelings. When a woman dismisses your feelings, it can be a deeply disheartening experience. You may find yourself questioning your worth or feeling invalidated. However, Stoicism offers a profound perspective on how to navigate such situations with grace and strength. By focusing on emotional resilience, self-control, and the wisdom of accepting what we cannot change, you can transform the pain of being undervalued into an opportunity for growth. Emotional dismissal occurs when someone disregards or invalidates your feelings, often treating your emotions as insignificant or unwarranted. It might look like rolling eyes when you're sharing something meaningful, brushing off your concerns with phrases like, "You're overreacting," or even outright ignoring your attempts to communicate. Such behavior is not just a sign of disrespect. It also reflects a lack of empathy and value for your emotional well-being. This treatment can chip away at your self-esteem, especially if you start internalizing these reactions as a reflection of your worth. However, as Stoic philosophy reminds us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You cannot control another person's dismissiveness, but you can control how you interpret and respond to it. Human beings have an inherent need to feel seen and heard. Emotional validation creates trust and strengthens the bond between individuals. When someone dismisses your feelings, they undermine the foundation of mutual respect and understanding in a relationship. Still, as Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This wisdom teaches us that while it's natural to seek validation, relying on others for emotional security makes us vulnerable. Instead, we must develop inner resilience and self-assurance, ensuring our well-being isn't dictated by the actions or inactions of others. A Stoic approach to emotional resilience. When faced with emotional dismissal, the Stoic path encourages us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, reactions, and actions. Here's how you can apply Stoicism to navigate such situations. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is to detach from external factors that are beyond your control. If someone dismisses your feelings, it doesn't define your worth or the legitimacy of your emotions. Seneca wisely noted, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." Fear of rejection or invalidation often causes us to cling to the hope that others will recognize our emotions. Yet, when you release this fear and realize your emotions are valid regardless of external acknowledgement, you reclaim your power. Reframing involves shifting your perspective to see a challenge as an opportunity for growth. When someone dismisses your feelings, it's a chance to practice self-validation. Remind yourself that their inability to empathize says more about them than it does about you. Epictetus offered this timeless advice. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them. By changing your view, you take control of the narrative and prevent their actions from disrupting your peace. While Stoicism emphasizes self-reliance, it doesn't advocate for silence in the face of disrespect. Articulate your feelings calmly and assertively. Express how their dismissive behavior impacts you, but without the expectation that they'll immediately change. Doing so demonstrates self-respect and a commitment to open communication. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In essence, embody the values you wish to see in others. When you dwell on the pain of being dismissed, you risk falling into a cycle of resentment. Instead, use the experience as an opportunity for growth. Ask yourself, am I allowing their behavior to dictate my emotional state? How can I strengthen my self-worth to become less reliant on their validation? What can I learn from this situation to improve my resilience in the future? Stoicism encourages us to see life's challenges as exercises in character development. When someone dismisses your feelings, view it as a test of your ability to maintain composure, self-respect, and clarity of thought. Emotional dismissal is a painful experience, but it doesn't have to define your sense of self. Through the lens of Stoicism, you can transform this hurt into strength. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, reactions, and actions, you create a space where your worth is independent of how others treat you. In the words of Epictetus, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." Embrace this wisdom. Build your resilience. And remember, the value you place on yourself far outweighs the validation, or lack thereof, offered by someone else. Behavior 2. She undermines your achievements. When someone you care about undermines your accomplishments, it can leave you feeling disheartened and unappreciated. In a healthy relationship, success is celebrated, not diminished. However, when a woman consistently downplays your achievements, it signals deeper issues, perhaps envy, insecurity, or a lack of respect. Stoicism provides a powerful framework to handle such situations, emphasizing self-worth, independence, and the importance of inner validation. Undermining behavior can be subtle or overt. It might look like sarcastic comments when you share good news, dismissive remarks like, "It's not a big deal," or even comparing your success to others to make it seem less significant. This kind of behavior not only erodes your confidence but also reveals a lack of mutual respect in the relationship. A supportive partner should act as your cheerleader, not your critic. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Instead of retaliating or feeling crushed by such dismissiveness, Stoicism urges us to rise above and maintain our integrity. One of the most common traps we fall into is relying on others for validation. While it's natural to want acknowledgement, tying your self-worth to someone else's recognition is risky. If your achievements are consistently undermined, you may begin to question their value or your abilities. However, as Epictetus wisely stated, if you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. If you need a witness, be your own. This quote highlights the importance of self-validation. Your achievements have worth because of the effort, dedication, and resilience you put into them, not because of someone else's acknowledgement. Why someone might undermine you. Understanding the root cause of undermining behavior can help you approach it with a balanced perspective. A woman who downplays your successes might be insecure. She may feel threatened by your achievements, fearing they make her look inadequate in comparison. Envious. Rather than celebrating your growth, envy may cause her to resent your progress. Disrespectful. If there's a lack of respect in the relationship, she might not value your efforts or accomplishments. While these reasons don't excuse the behavior, they provide context that allows you to respond with wisdom rather than anger. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. When someone undermines your success, the Stoic response is to stand firm in your self-worth and avoid letting their negativity affect you. Your value is not determined by external approval. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This timeless wisdom reminds us to prioritize our own judgment over the opinions of others. If you know your achievement is meaningful, that knowledge alone is enough. Stoics view challenges as opportunities for growth. If someone tries to diminish your accomplishments, see it as a chance to practice resilience and grace. Instead of reacting with frustration or disappointment, remind yourself that their behavior reflects their character, not yours. Seneca advised, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." In this context, craving external praise makes you emotionally dependent. Instead, cultivate the richness of self-assurance. When someone undermines your success, counter their negativity by focusing on gratitude. Celebrate your own progress privately if needed, and remind yourself of the effort it took to get there. Gratitude reinforces positivity and shifts your focus away from the dismissiveness of others. While Stoicism teaches us to control our reactions, it doesn't mean we should tolerate disrespect. Addressing undermining behavior calmly and assertively can set boundaries and foster healthier communication. For example, you might say, "I noticed that when I shared my achievement, your response felt dismissive. It's important to me that we support each other's successes. Can we talk about it?" This approach avoids confrontation while expressing your needs clearly. If undermining behavior persists despite your best efforts, it may indicate a deeper incompatibility in values. A Stoic understands the importance of surrounding oneself with individuals who uplift rather than drain. Epictetus reminds us, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." If someone consistently fails to respect your accomplishments, it may be time to reevaluate their role in your life. Your achievements are a testament to your hard work, determination, and growth. They deserve to be celebrated, not diminished. While dismissive behavior can hurt, Stoicism teaches us to anchor our worth internally rather than seeking validation externally. By practicing self-reliance, gratitude, and assertiveness, you not only protect your peace but also strengthen your ability to navigate relationships with wisdom and dignity. In the end, your success speaks for itself, whether or not someone else chooses to acknowledge it. Behavior 3. She takes without giving back. A healthy relationship thrives on balance, a mutual exchange of effort, support, and care. When a woman constantly takes without giving back, it creates an imbalance that can leave you feeling drained and undervalued. Relationships built on one-sided effort are unsustainable, and Stoicism offers guidance on how to handle such dynamics with wisdom and self-respect. In one-sided relationships, the imbalance is often subtle at first. You might find yourself always initiating plans, providing emotional support, or investing time and resources while receiving little or nothing in return. Over time, this dynamic becomes exhausting, leaving you wondering if your efforts are appreciated at all. This behavior isn't just a lack of reciprocity, it's a failure to value the relationship as a partnership. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed in Meditations, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." If your energy and efforts are not met with gratitude or mutual care, it may be time to question whether the relationship aligns with the privilege of love and connection. Why mutual effort matters. Relationships are partnerships that require investment from both sides to grow and thrive. Mutual effort fosters trust. A relationship where both parties give builds a foundation of reliability. Respect. Acknowledging each other's contributions strengthens the bond. Emotional security. Knowing your efforts are reciprocated creates a sense of balance and harmony. When one person takes without giving back, the relationship turns transactional rather than collaborative. As Seneca stated, a benefit should be kept in mind, not as a matter of obligation, but as an expression of gratitude. In a healthy relationship, giving is rooted in gratitude and mutual care, not in fulfilling one-sided demands. Why someone may only take a partner who consistently takes without giving back may be acting out of self-centeredness, entitlement, or an inability to recognize the importance of reciprocity. While their reasons may vary, this behavior often signals deeper issues. A lack of empathy. She may not fully understand or appreciate your contributions. Self-centeredness. Her focus might be on her needs, leaving little regard for yours. Complacency. Over time, she may have become accustomed to your efforts, taking them for granted. While these factors can explain the behavior, they don't excuse it. Recognizing the imbalance is the first step in addressing it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what lies within our control, our own actions, thoughts, and decisions. If you find yourself in a relationship where you give but don't receive, consider these Stoic principles. Are you giving with the expectation of receiving something in return? While mutual effort is essential, Stoicism encourages us to give freely without attachment to the outcome. As Epictetus wrote, "He who is noble plans noble things, and on noble things he stands." Giving should come from a place of integrity, not obligation or expectation. However, this doesn't mean tolerating one-sided behavior indefinitely. Boundaries protect your energy and self-worth. If her behavior consistently drains you, it's crucial to communicate your needs and limits. Calmly express how her actions, or lack thereof, impact the relationship. For example, "I value our relationship, but I feel like I'm the one putting in most of the effort. Can we talk about how we can make this more balanced?" If the imbalance persists, despite your efforts to address it, it may be time to reassess the relationship. As Marcus Aurelius advised, "Love only what happens to you and is woven into the pattern of your destiny." For what could more aptly fit your needs? This wisdom encourages us to embrace relationships that align with our values and bring us closer to our true selves. Relationships should uplift you, not drain you. Prioritize your well-being by focusing on activities and connections that bring joy, growth, and fulfillment. When you take care of yourself, you create space for healthier, more reciprocal relationships. Reciprocity is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. It's not about keeping score, but about mutual respect and shared effort. When both partners invest equally, the relationship becomes a source of strength and support rather than stress and depletion. As Seneca wisely noted, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." Surround yourself with individuals who value your efforts and inspire you to grow, both as a partner and as a person. When you recognize that a woman consistently takes without giving back, it's an opportunity to practice the Stoic virtues of self-awareness, self-respect, and wise decision-making. By focusing on what you can control, your choices, boundaries, and perspective, you take back your power and create the conditions for healthier relationships. Remember, the true value of a relationship lies not in how much you give, but in the mutual effort and care that sustains it. If she cannot or will not meet you halfway, it may be time to reassess your commitment and prioritize connections that honor and reciprocate your efforts. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Be the person who gives freely but wisely, respects themselves, and values relationships built on balance and reciprocity." Behavior 4. She avoids accountability. In any meaningful relationship, accountability is essential. It reflects maturity, respect, and a willingness to grow. When a woman consistently avoids responsibility for her actions and shifts the blame elsewhere, it signals a lack of value for you and the relationship. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-awareness and integrity, provides a guiding framework for navigating this kind of behavior while maintaining your peace and dignity. Avoiding accountability can manifest in many ways: blaming others or circumstances for her mistakes, making excuses instead of acknowledging her role in a problem, refusing to apologize or address conflicts constructively. For instance, if an argument arises and she shifts the focus entirely onto your flaws, rather than examining her own behavior, she's sidestepping accountability. Over time, this pattern can erode trust and leave you feeling frustrated and unheard. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When faced with someone who avoids accountability, focus on your actions and perspective rather than attempting to control hers. Accountability is the foundation of trust and growth in any partnership. It shows that both individuals are willing to reflect on their actions and make changes when necessary. A relationship where one person refuses to take responsibility creates an unhealthy dynamic, with one partner bearing the emotional weight of conflicts and misunderstandings. As Epictetus wisely noted, it is not things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. When a woman avoids accountability, her behavior reflects her inner judgment, not necessarily the situation itself. This understanding can help you approach the issue without taking her actions personally. Understanding the reasons behind someone's avoidance of responsibility can provide insight into their behavior. Common reasons include fear of vulnerability. Admitting mistakes requires humility and courage, which some people struggle with. Insecurity. She may feel that acknowledging faults will make her seem weak or inadequate. Entitlement. A sense of superiority can lead to the belief that she's exempt from taking responsibility. While these reasons can explain the behavior, they don't excuse it. Recognizing these patterns allows you to approach the situation with a balanced perspective. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions, thoughts, and responses, while accepting what lies outside our influence. When dealing with someone who avoids accountability, these principles can guide your actions. Before addressing her behavior, reflect on your own. Are there ways you may have contributed to the issue? By taking responsibility for your part, you model the behavior you wish to see. As Seneca observed, a good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness. By demonstrating integrity, you set a standard for accountability in the relationship. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, approach the conversation with clarity and calmness. Use I statements to express your feelings without placing blame. For example, I feel frustrated when issues arise, and it feels like the focus shifts entirely onto me. I think it's important for both of us to take responsibility. This approach encourages dialogue rather than defensiveness. If her avoidance continues, establish boundaries to protect your peace. Boundaries are not ultimatums, but clear expressions of what behavior you will and will not accept. For instance, you might say, I value accountability in a relationship, and it's important to me that we address issues together rather than shifting blame. Boundaries show respect for yourself and the relationship. When someone avoids accountability, the emotional burden often falls on you. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment and burnout. Stoicism teaches us to release burdens that aren't ours to carry. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. It is only persistence in self-deception and ignorance which does harm. This principle reminds us to seek truth and fairness, not to enable harmful patterns. If she refuses to acknowledge her role in conflicts, it's not your responsibility to shoulder the entire weight of the relationship. If efforts to address her avoidance fail and the behavior persists, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship. A lack of accountability not only undermines trust but also indicates a deeper lack of respect and compatibility. Epictetus advised, associate only with those who improve you. Healthy relationships encourage growth and mutual understanding. If her refusal to take responsibility stifles this growth, it's worth considering whether the relationship aligns with your values and needs. When faced with someone who avoids accountability, remember to prioritize your integrity and well-being. While you cannot control her actions, you can control your responses, set boundaries, and choose relationships that align with your principles. In the words of Seneca, as is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. Ensure the relationships in your life contribute to their goodness. A woman who values you will own her faults and work with you to strengthen the bond. If she cannot or will not do so, let Stoicism guide you in seeking peace, balance, and mutual respect. Behavior 5. She disrespects your boundaries. Boundaries are not just guidelines, they are essential markers of self-respect and emotional health. They define how we allow others to treat us and help maintain balance in our relationships. When a woman repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, it's a clear indication that she doesn't value you or your needs. Stoicism teaches us to honor our principles, set firm boundaries, and, when necessary, have the courage to walk away. Understanding boundaries in relationships. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. They represent respect for oneself. Setting boundaries shows that you value your own feelings, time, and energy. Respect for others. Honoring someone else's boundaries is a sign of empathy and mutual care. When boundaries are disregarded, it leads to frustration, resentment, and imbalance in the relationship. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If someone's disregard for your boundaries affects your peace, it's a reflection of the energy you're allowing into your life. Signs of boundary disrespect. Disrespecting boundaries can take many forms, including ignoring your preferences, continuously doing things you've explicitly said make you uncomfortable, overstepping limits, regularly intruding into areas you've clearly marked as off-limits, pressuring you, trying to manipulate you into saying yes when you've said no. For example, if you've expressed that you need personal space to recharge, but she consistently disregards this, it's a sign of disrespect. Over time, such behavior can erode your sense of self-worth and make you feel undervalued. Why people disrespect boundaries. A woman who repeatedly crosses your boundaries might lack self-awareness. She may not fully understand the importance of boundaries in relationships. Feel entitled. She might believe her needs outweigh yours, leading her to disregard your limits. Use control. Disrespecting boundaries can sometimes be a subtle way of asserting dominance. While understanding these motives can foster empathy, it doesn't excuse the behavior. Respect is a non-negotiable aspect of any relationship. The Stoic approach to boundaries. Stoicism emphasizes living in accordance with our principles and focusing on what we can control. When faced with boundary violations, these teachings provide a clear and balanced path forward. Define your boundaries clearly. Before you can expect someone to respect your boundaries, you must define them for yourself. Be specific about what you're comfortable with and what crosses the line. As Seneca advised, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you take the time to establish your boundaries, you take control of your life and relationships. Communicate assertively. Make your boundaries known in a calm and respectful manner. Use direct but non-confrontational language such as, "I value personal time to recharge, and I'd appreciate it if you could respect that when I ask for space." Stoicism teaches us to act with reason, not anger. Communicating with clarity and composure increases the likelihood of being heard. Monitor. Her response. How she reacts to your boundaries says a lot about her respect for you. A woman who values you will make an effort to understand and honor your limits. However, if she dismisses or challenges them, it's a sign of deeper issues. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Similarly, waste no time trying to convince someone to respect your boundaries. Stand firm in your principles. Enforce boundaries consistently. Setting boundaries without follow-through diminishes their power. If she repeatedly disrespects your limits despite clear communication, take action. This might mean reducing your interactions or, in extreme cases, ending the relationship. Epictetus reminds us, keep your intention pure. Do not follow paths that others would have you follow. Choose the path that aligns with your values and self-respect, even if it requires difficult decisions. The cost of ignoring boundary violations. When you allow someone to repeatedly cross your boundaries, you may experience emotional exhaustion, constantly feeling drained by her behavior. Resentment. growing anger and frustration that can poison the relationship, loss of self-respect, feeling like your needs and feelings are unimportant. By tolerating such behavior, you inadvertently teach her that your boundaries don't matter. This cycle can only be broken by asserting your limits and standing firm in your values. If her disrespect continues despite your best efforts, walking away might be the healthiest choice. This is not an act of anger or revenge, but a commitment to your well-being. As Seneca said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." A relationship built on mutual respect will enhance your life. One filled with boundary violations will detract from it. Boundaries are not walls to keep others out. They are bridges to healthier relationships. A woman who respects your boundaries values you and the relationship. If she doesn't, it's a clear sign to reevaluate her place in your life. In the end, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our actions and reactions. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. By setting and enforcing boundaries, you create the foundation for relationships that honor your worth and contribute to your peace. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In this context, the best response to someone who disrespects your boundaries is to uphold them unwaveringly. This is how you honor yourself and ensure that your relationships are built on mutual respect and value. 6. She rarely shows gratitude. Gratitude is one of the cornerstones of healthy relationships. It fosters connection, appreciation, and mutual respect. When someone acknowledges your efforts, it strengthens the bond and reassures you that your contributions matter. Conversely, when a woman rarely shows gratitude for your actions, it can leave you feeling invisible, unappreciated, and undervalued. Stoicism, however, reminds us to detach from external validation and instead focus on living with integrity and purpose. As Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." This timeless wisdom teaches us that our fulfillment should stem from our own values, not others' recognition. Gratitude serves as the glue that holds relationships together. It signifies that someone notices and appreciates the efforts of the other person. Expressions of gratitude, whether through words or actions, create an atmosphere of respect and warmth. A lack of gratitude, however, often signals deeper issues in a relationship. Taking you for granted. She may assume your efforts are her entitlement rather than a choice you make. Self-centeredness. A lack of gratitude can indicate a focus on her needs over the relationship's balance. Emotional detachment. Not expressing thanks may reflect a lack of emotional investment. While gratitude is vital for connection, Stoicism teaches us not to depend on it for our sense of worth. A woman who rarely shows gratitude may overlook your kind gestures, such as taking care of her needs or supporting her goals. Dismiss your sacrifices or hard work as expected, rather than appreciated. Avoid acknowledging the emotional or physical labor you contribute to the relationship. For example, if you consistently help her during difficult times but receive no recognition or reciprocation, it may be a sign of imbalance. Epictetus advised, "He who is not grateful for what he has would not be happy with what he desires." This reminds us that gratitude isn't just about acknowledging others, it's also about fostering personal contentment. When faced with a lack of gratitude, it's easy to feel frustrated or unappreciated. However, Stoicism encourages us to shift our perspective and focus on our actions and character. Act for the right reasons. A central tenet of Stoicism is that we should act according to our principles, not for external rewards. If your actions stem from genuine care and integrity, they hold intrinsic value. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors, unless with a view to some mutual benefit. Let your efforts be a reflection of your own values, not contingent on her recognition. While appreciation is desirable, it is ultimately outside your control. Focus on what you can control, your intentions and actions. If your kindness and efforts align with your principles, her response doesn't diminish their worth. Epictetus reminded us, some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. Recognizing this distinction can free you from the emotional toll of unmet expectations. Instead of relying on external validation, cultivate gratitude within yourself. Reflect on your own blessings, strengths, and growth. When you practice gratitude, you set an example of the mindset you value in relationships. Seneca once said, "A grateful mind is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all the others." This inward focus can help you maintain peace, even in the absence of external appreciation. A lack of gratitude in a relationship can create emotional distance. Feeling unappreciated can lead to resentment over time. Weaken trust. The absence of acknowledgement might make you question her investment in the relationship. Damage self-worth. When your efforts are overlooked, it can cause you to doubt your value. Stoicism reminds us that while we can't control others' actions, we can choose how much we allow their behavior to affect us. If her lack of gratitude persists, it's important to evaluate the relationship's balance. Communicate your feelings with clarity and honesty. I feel that my efforts sometimes go unnoticed, and I'd like us to work on acknowledging and appreciating each other more. If she responds defensively or dismissively, it may be a sign that she doesn't value the relationship as much as you do. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Love the hand that fate deals you and play it as your own, for what could be more fitting?" If the relationship no longer serves your well-being, it's okay to walk away with gratitude for the lessons it provided. Gratitude should be a two-way street in relationships, fostering connection and mutual respect. While it's disheartening when someone you care for rarely acknowledges your efforts, Stoicism teaches us to remain steadfast in our values. By focusing on integrity and seeking fulfillment within, you create a foundation of strength and resilience. If she cannot or will not reciprocate gratitude, it's a sign to prioritize your peace and find relationships that align with your principles. In the end, as Seneca so beautifully stated, true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. Cherish the moments where gratitude and respect flourish, and don't settle for less than what you deserve. 7. She makes you feel replaceable. Feeling replaceable in a relationship is deeply disheartening. It implies that your presence, contributions, and essence are undervalued or easily dismissed. When a woman makes you feel this way, it signals her lack of appreciation for your unique qualities and her disregard for the relationship's depth. While this behavior can shake your confidence, Stoicism offers profound guidance. Your worth is inherent and unshaken by anyone's perception. As Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This teaches us that our self-worth must come from within, not from how others treat us. A woman who makes you feel replaceable might dismiss your contributions, acting as though your efforts are interchangeable with anyone else's, devalue your uniqueness, ignoring what makes you special or distinct, engage in comparisons, frequently comparing you to others, making you feel inferior, act with indifference, showing little concern for your emotions, needs, or presence. Such actions undermine your sense of belonging and importance. It may leave you questioning your value in the relationship or even in life. Stoicism provides a framework for dealing with such treatment, focusing on self-mastery and inner resilience. It teaches us to anchor our worth in our own actions and character, rather than in the validation of others. The Stoics believed that our value is intrinsic, stemming from our virtues and choices. When someone treats you as replaceable, it reflects their inability to recognize your worth. It doesn't diminish it. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." Her disregard is an external event. Your reaction, rooted in self-awareness and dignity, is what defines your strength. Focus on your unique qualities. Every individual possesses qualities that make them irreplaceable. Whether it's your kindness, intelligence, sense of humor, or resilience, these traits set you apart. Reflect on what makes you unique, not to seek her acknowledgement, but to deepen your own self-appreciation. Signs you're being made to feel replaceable. Frequent neglect. She might consistently ignore your emotional needs or make you feel like an afterthought. Lack of commitment. Her actions suggest she's not fully invested in the relationship, leaving you uncertain about your place in her life. Undermining your efforts. She minimizes or dismisses the effort you put into the relationship, making you feel unimportant. Emotionally detached behavior. Her indifference to your feelings or well-being leaves you feeling undervalued. While such behaviors are painful, Stoicism advises us to see them as opportunities to strengthen our inner resolve. When someone makes you feel unimportant, respond not with anger or despair, but with strength and clarity. 1. Reclaim your self-worth. Realize that your value is not dictated by anyone's perception. Your worth exists independently of external validation. Seneca observed, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Use this experience as a lesson to grow in self-respect and emotional resilience. 2. Set boundaries. Address the issue by clearly communicating your feelings. For example, "I feel that my efforts and presence aren't being valued, and I'd like to understand where we stand." Communicating openly helps you gauge whether the relationship can improve or if it's time to move on. 3. Focus on your sphere of control. You cannot control how someone else perceives or treats you, but you can control your reaction. Choose to act with dignity and self-respect. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You always own the option of having no opinion." There's never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you cannot control. Let go of the need for her validation and focus on your inner peace. Remaining in a relationship where you feel replaceable can erode your confidence. Constant disregard can make you doubt your worth. Foster resentment. Unaddressed feelings of being undervalued can lead to bitterness. Create imbalance. The relationship becomes one-sided, with you giving more than you receive. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize relationships that honor mutual respect and growth. If she consistently makes you feel undervalued, it may be time to walk away. Choosing to leave a relationship where you are not valued is an act of courage and self-respect. It's not about rejecting her. It's about affirming yourself. Epictetus wrote, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Surround yourself with those who recognize and appreciate your worth. Feeling replaceable is a painful experience, but it doesn't define you. By adopting a Stoic mindset, you can rise above external treatment and find strength in your inherent value. Recognize your worth, set boundaries, and seek relationships that reflect mutual respect and appreciation. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Surround yourself with the right people. Once you recognize your worth, focus on building connections with those who value and uplift you. Healthy relationships are characterized by mutual respect, shared effort, and genuine care. Epictetus advised, "Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Choose people who align with your principles and foster your growth." Relationships should never make you question your inherent value, but instead highlight your unique contributions to the world. A Stoic mindset teaches the value of non-attachment. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or distant, but rather understanding that our happiness and self-worth are independent of external circumstances or people. When someone fails to see your worth, let that realization free you, not bind you. Instead of clinging to their approval, practice letting go with grace and acceptance. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." Every relationship, whether good or bad, serves a purpose. Some teach us joy, others teach us resilience, Recognize the lesson and carry it forward with dignity. Surround yourself with the right people. Once you recognize your worth, focus on building connections with those who value and uplift you. Healthy relationships are characterized by mutual respect, shared effort, and genuine care. Epictetus advised, "Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Choose people who align with your principles and foster your growth. Relationships should never make you question your inherent value, but instead highlight your unique contributions to the world." A Stoic mindset teaches the value of non-attachment. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or distant, but rather understanding that our happiness and self-worth are independent of external circumstances or people. When someone fails to see your worth, let that realization free you, not bind you. Instead of clinging to their approval, practice letting go with grace and acceptance. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" Every relationship, whether good or bad, serves a purpose. Some teach us joy, others teach us resilience. Recognize the lesson and carry it forward with dignity. Leaving behind someone who makes you feel replaceable is not a loss. It's a victory for your self-respect. It clears the path for healthier relationships where you are seen, valued, and celebrated for who you are. Moving forward, remember these truths. Your worth is inherent. It doesn't depend on someone else's recognition or behavior. You are irreplaceable. There's only one you with your unique combination of qualities and virtues. You deserve respect. Accept nothing less than relationships that honor your value. Epictetus encouraged, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." Honor yourself through your choices, actions, and the relationships you nurture. Being made to feel replaceable is a painful experience, but it can also be an opportunity for profound personal growth. Use this challenge as a stepping stone to strengthen your sense of self-worth and align your life with the values you hold dear. As Marcus Aurelius beautifully concluded, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Fill your mind with thoughts of strength, gratitude, and purpose. Your worth is unshakable, and the right people will recognize it effortlessly. Choose to walk forward with confidence, knowing you are more than enough and entirely irreplaceable. Recognizing these behaviors isn't about blaming or resenting, it's about self-awareness and growth. As Stoicism teaches, the only person you can truly control is yourself. Choose strength, wisdom, and self-respect over chasing validation from someone who doesn't value you. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and life lessons. Take control of your journey today